Hey everybody, it's me, Sven here, bringing you day number 227 of Let's Talk About Autism. Before we get started, I'd love you to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below the video. It would help me out tremendously. So, in today's video, I'll be talking about why, when you tell someone you're autistic, you would get a response like, oh, you don't look autistic, or seem or act autistic. And there's a reason for that. And from what I've seen other autistic creators doing is just like, oh, you shouldn't say that, or they throw a fit when they say that. Well, I'm not one of those people. Every time I get that, I'm just like, oh, whatever. But controlling people's speech is what the abusers do. And instead of just telling everyone, don't tell us that, we should just look into why they would think that in the first place. Why they think that we aren't autistic, or we don't seem autistic, or whatever, or look autistic, Yeah, it doesn't look any specific way, but we gotta understand why they would think this in the first place. So, to them, the definition of autism in their mind is that of like a really dysfunctional person that just can't do anything for themselves, the sort of thing that RFK Jr. talks about. And yes, it is very real. I've seen it many times myself, that's the definition of autism in their mind. And if you aren't like that, even if you have a diagnosis of autism, you don't fit that person's definition. So of course they're going to be like, oh, I didn't know that. Or, you don't look or seem autistic. They're going to say this because you don't fit their definition of autism. And like the reason this even happened is because we're not talking about the same thing. We have two different autisms in our minds. Like, the right says autism is this horrible thing that needs to be cured, and the left says, oh, it's the best thing ever. I mean, neither of those are really true. Like, both exist. So, but we might not be talking about the same thing. Like, your definition of autism and the person you're talking to, their definition of autism, we're not talking about the same thing. Like, I know both are real, but we're not talking about the same thing. Like I've said this before, we need to standardize a definition, and merging a bunch of different conditions into the same thing is not helping. So to the person you're talking to, that autism is real, but it's not what you have. And we're calling two different things, or multiple different things. It's more than two. It's more like 6 or more. But we're talking about different things that we're applying the same name to. And the way to fix this is to sort of standardize definitions of autism, but also, have separate names for these different conditions. I mean, often you'll put severe in front of autism and then say that, and then autism all on its own is somebody who can do things for themselves. I've seen this, but we should really just focus on like if it's different things, we should give them different names. Like, that's just how language works. And to what we're talking about here, the context of all these sorts of different conditions is no different. So, like a chemically induced disability and something like childhood disintegrative disorder, or, all these different things we're talking about, Rett syndrome. I mean, some things that are similar you could merge into autism that tend to have the same general trends and traits, but things that are completely different when we're talking about something that has almost nothing in common with autism, like, that shouldn't be diagnosed as autism, like childhood disintegration disorder, or even what we call severe autism. Like, we're not talking about the same thing, which just brings me back to, because that is the standard definition of autism that the culture has, is that of somebody who's dysfunctional and can't do anything for themselves, even if they're an adult. Like, we got to sort of shift the culture into having a definition of autism that fits our definition of autism more and can differentiate between these certain conditions. Like, it isn't supposed to be that hard. Like, we have a lot of work to do, obviously, but we have a solution, and silencing people just because your definition of autism isn't the same as theirs is not going to help, and it's just going to create more stigma to us. So what we need to do instead is solve the issue of why they think of autism as this dysfunctional thing in the first place that you obviously don't fit. So when they say you don't look or seem or act autistic, it might be more of a compliment than an insult, because you don't fit that definition of a dysfunctional person or a dysfunctional character that they have in their mind. So we should really look at it with a bit of nuance, which, it's hard for us to do, but we should still do it to at least get everyone to understand what we're actually dealing with. So yeah, that was day 227. I'll see you on day 228. Thank you very much for watching this video if you made it this long, and God bless you. Goodbye.